conveys greetings and best wishes of His Majesty the Sultan during his participation in the 32nd Arab Summit in Jeddah. In compliance with the royal orders, the Sultanate of Oman conducts relief flights to the Republic of Sudan. And the Sultanate of Oman condemns the storming of Al-Aqsa Mosque by an Israeli government official. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Paul Biya, President of Cameroon, on his country's National Day. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation Affairs, and the Sultan's Special Representative led the delegation of the Sultanate of Oman participating in the works of the regular Arab Summit in its 32nd session, which was held in Jeddah today. During the summit, His Highness conveyed the greetings and best wishes of His Majesty the Sultan, as well as his support for the works of the 32nd Arab Summit. His Highness also added,
to deliver his speech in the name of Allah, the Lord of Mercy, the Giver of Mercy. The custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, the chair of the 32nd Council of the Arab League at the summit level. His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, Your Excellency, the Secretary General of the Arab League, the honorable guests of the Arab Summit, and dear audience, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. At the outset, I would like to convey to you the greetings of His Majesty Haytham bin Tariq, Sultan of Oman, and his sincere wishes and support for the proceedings of the 32nd Arab Summit on the lands of the brotherly country of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia under the chairmanship of the custodian of the two holy mosques. Through whose wisdom and the wisdom of the leaders of the Arab countries, and with Allah's grace, we believe in Oman that the success of this summit has been achieved by reuniting the Arab Ummah with Allah's grace. We would like to thank the sincere efforts of the custodian of the two holy mosques and the successful initiatives of him and his brothers of Arab leaders in order to revive Arab solidarity and to put an end to the crises of the region by Arab hands and to proceed to a brighter vision and a brighter period to the Arab Ummah that would reflect positively to the interests of our countries and peoples and of course to the entire world. Because our Arab world has a profound weight at the international level, and we cannot fail in this regard to express our thanks to His Excellency Ahmed Abul Ghaid, the Secretary General of the Arab League, and to the staff of the General Secretariat of the Arab League for their efforts in preparing and arranging this summit and their continuous efforts to promote joint Arab action. Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, Heads of Delegations, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq of Oman, in his first speech after taking office, asserted the continuous support of the laws and cooperation with the leaders of the Arab countries and improve the lives of the peoples and to put an end to the disagreements and the conflicts in the region and to have an economic integration that would be up to the expectations of our peoples. And in this regard, we welcome the resumption of the contributions of Syria to the Arab League, and we express our confidence that His Excellency Bashar al-Assad is among us today, while we are certain that the brotherly country of Syria would regain through the efforts of its people its deserved position as a beacon for Arab progress. Majesties, Excellencies, Highnesses, in Oman, as in other countries that love peace and justice, believe that the incapability of the international world to find a transparent and fair solution to the dilemma of the Palestinian people is the source of the instability that storm the region and the entire world. We believe that the future of peoples is part of the coexistence under the international law and the resolutions of the international legitimacy, and the Palestinian people should have the right to establish their independent state with Al-Quds at its capital on the borderlines of the 4th of June 1967, according to the United Nations Security Council resolutions issued in this regard, and the Arab peace initiatives and the Peace for Land principle. We are certain that maintaining the Arab League and reforming it would promote our unity and cooperation and sharing of our benefits among our countries, as well as with the world countries, based on the civilizational impact of the Arab Ummah and its history and what it has provided to the entire humanity in terms of knowledge. And we believe that through our unity, we can have better horizons in terms of prosperity and progress and take our peoples to the deserved place for them. In conclusion, we are honored to express our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the hospitality accorded to us and for the excellent arrangement for this summit. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The Sultanate of Oman participated in the works of the regular Arab Summit in its 32nd session, which was held in Jeddah today in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The summit focused on a number of Arab issues, including the Palestinian cause, war in Sudan, as well as Syrian and Yemeni crisis. It also discussed enhancing solidarity and joint Arab cooperation in political and development fields. The summit welcomed the presence of the Syrian Arab Republic delegation, with hopes for stability and resuming its role in the Arab world, as well as a better future for its people and the Arab region in general. The summit also reviewed enhancing economic and commercial cooperation among the Arab countries, in addition to climate issues, security, and combating terrorism, as well as cybersecurity. It also shed light on the social and political issues within the Arab region. In compliance with the royal orders of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, the Sultanate of Oman, represented by the Omani Charity Organization, in cooperation with the Royal Air Force of Oman, conducted relief flights to the Republic of Sudan. The flights are operated by military transport aircraft of the Royal Air Force of Oman, carrying various relief materials and essential humanitarian needs. These relief flights come within the framework of the humanitarian efforts provided by the Sultanate of Oman in emergencies and exceptional cases for brothers and friends. These flights will continue over the upcoming days in solidarity with the Republic of Sudan. The Foreign Ministry issued a statement as follows. The Sultanate of Oman has expressed a strong denunciation and condemnation of the storming of Al-Aqsa Mosque by an Israeli government official and members of the Knesset under the guard of the occupation forces, and what these continuous violations represent of provocation of the feelings of Muslims and a violation of international law. It also affirmed its full support for the brotherly Palestinian people, calling on the international community to assume its responsibilities towards the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people to end the occupation and achieve a just and comprehensive peace. Still to come on News Bulletin. Oman Across Ages Museum holds a ceremony to mark the International Museum Day. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. More than 1 million people have been displaced by fighting in Sudan so far, including 250,000 refugees, a UN refugee agency spokesperson said. The army and the paramilitary rapid support forces have been locked in weeks of conflict that has killed hundreds of people and turned the streets of the capital Khartoum into war zones. The latest figure includes some 843,000 people displaced internally and around 250,000 people who have fled across Sudan's borders, UN Refugee Agency spokesperson Matthew Saltmarsh told the Geneva briefing. Refugees have streamed into Sudan's neighbors, including Chad, Ethiopia, and South Sudan, with their own poorly funded humanitarian crises. At least 800,000 people in Myanmar need emergency food aid and other assistance after Cyclone Mocha slammed into the conflict-torn country earlier this week, the United Nations said. Mocha brought lashing rain and winds of up to 195 kilometers per hour to Myanmar and neighboring Bangladesh on Sunday, with Myanmar's junta saying 145 people had been killed and media reports suggesting the number was far higher. The UN's World Food Programme described a trail of devastation across Myanmar's Rakhine State, a region that is home to hundreds of thousands of Rohingya refugees who live in displacement camps following decades of ethnic conflict. The cyclone left houses flattened, roads cut off by uprooted trees, hospitals and schools destroyed, and telecommunications and power lines severely disrupted. Anthea Webb, WFP's Deputy Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific, told reporters in Geneva via video link from Bangkok. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen called for more military support for Ukraine at a summit for the 7 major democratic industrial nations G7 in Japan. She told G7 leaders that they need to give Ukraine the tools now to successfully defend itself, regain full sovereignty and territorial integrity. She said they should provide Ukraine with the necessary military and financial support, and they have to do this as long as it takes. Von der Leyen highlighted the evasion of Western sanctions on Russia. The Sultanate of Oman continues its participation in the Tehran International Book Fair 2023. The Sultanate of Oman's participation in Tehran Book Fair stems from the deep historic relations between the two countries and aims to introduce the book fair's visitors to the Omani culture, literary achievements, and historic and touristic landmarks. The pavilion of the Sultanate of Oman includes an expanded list of publications in all sorts of cultural, linguistic, historical, and tourism fields. Oman Across Ages Museum held a ceremony to mark the International Museum Day. The event was presided over by His Excellency Engineer Ibrahim bin Saeed Al Kharousi, Undersecretary of the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism for Heritage, and we have more details in the following report.
To raise awareness about museums as essential means of cultural exchange and development, Oman Across Ages Museum in the Wilaya of Manah celebrated the International Museum Day, which is observed on the 18th of May every year.
Today we are celebrating the National Museum Day, International Museum Day, and it is about the sustainability and the well-being of the museums. The subject of this year was selected by the ICOM organization, who are responsible for all the museums around the world.
The ceremony featured a discussion session under the theme Omani Museums Empowering Sustainable Progress and Enhancing Human Welfare.
We feel so happy to see like different kind of people, different the children, the schools groups, the old people, the disabled people. They are all coming to our museum and they are enjoying. And we can see how they feel proud about having such a museum with international standard here in Oman.
2 working papers were also presented at the event, highlighting the pioneering role of museums in achieving sustainable development goals, as well as narrating information at museums in a sustainable way. The celebration is a recognition of the integral contributions of museums to the sustainable cultural developments of societies. From Oman Across Ages Museum in the Wilaya of Manah, صالح أبو خلفان الرحبي الداخلية Governorate.
In collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and Heritage, GU Tech organized Global Tourism Exhibition led by tourism major students. More details in the following report.
With Vision 2040 aiming to equip Oman's youth with the skills required to meet the needs of the local economy and to compete globally, public and private educational institutions are exerting their utmost efforts to meet rising demand in Oman. Here at UTech, Global Tourism Exhibition has been organized in collaboration with the Ministry of Heritage Tourism to groom future leaders for the Oman Vision 2040.
I'm very excited to see the performance of the students in today's exhibition. Actually, the students presented remarkable skills either in organizing the events or communicating the events to the audience. And I see a lot of students who can really contribute a lot to the Oman Vision 2040 and to the tourism sector in Oman.
The objective of this global tourism exhibition is to promote the tourism industry of various countries and regions on a global scale.
This event and this exhibition is part of the International Destination Management course that our bachelor degree students are taking. The students are introduced to many destinations and they learn how those destinations are managing the tourism. They look and examine their marketing strategies, tourism strategies, the way how those destinations are planning for their tourism.
Today, the students showcase the cultures, traditions, landmarks, and attraction of each country and the strategies they use to market themselves as a destination.
We're really happy that we have given the opportunity to represent Germany in the tourism sector.
The main objective of this global tourism exhibition is to showcase the tourism industry within multiple countries and the management strategies it's used to market itself as a destination.
I'm very happy to represent Saudi Arabia today. Saudi Arabia is broadening their type of tourism and they're introducing other types of tourism such as event tourism, festival tourism. So they're working on Jeddah season, Riyadh season and Al Ula festival. They're also working on their major events such as the Line, and they're really focusing on sustainability on this project.
Oman plans to increase the number of foreign tourists in the country to 16 million annually by the year 2040 from 3.2 million tourists who visited Oman in 2021. No doubt, to make sure Oman is aligned with the 2040 vision, students are an important part of the plan since they are the leaders of the future.
We're very grateful to GUtech and to the LTSM department for allowing us to host such an amazing event to celebrate different cultures. Today my group is celebrating Tanzania. Tanzania has something for everybody. It features major attractions such as Kilimanjaro, Serengeti National Park, Zanzibari beaches, and a very beautiful and special culture.
GUtech's students are prepared to be global leaders in the tourism sector to increase Oman's GDP and create jobs. These kinds of exhibition do empower students' leadership in tourism and boost the relationship between countries. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed conveys greetings and best wishes of His Majesty the Sultan during his participation in the 32nd Arab Summit in Jeddah. In compliance with the royal orders, the Sultanate of Oman conducts relief flights to the Republic of Sudan. And the Sultanate of Oman condemns the storming of Al-Aqsa Mosque by an Israeli government official. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios is good night and stay safe.